Today we are diving into the best Pokemon cards to collect and invest in for 2025. This entire list focuses on the Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet era, just modern sets packed with incredible art and serious investing potential. If you're looking to expand your collection or to make insane gains in the future, stay tuned. Let's jump right in. So guys, there's only one rule here, and it's that all the chase cards, these are all chase cards, and these are $75 or more, or they are about 50 or 60 but with great potential. This is the only rule we follow. You can read the tiers here. This is the same as S, A, B, blah blah blah, but just a bit more fancy, you know. We start with Charizard from not Legendary Collections, the 25th anniversary. The problem with this Charizard is that if it's not expensive right now that the hobby has exploded and a lot of new people are collecting, I don't know when will. You could argue that this card will be more expensive in the 30th anniversary, which I think it will, but I don't know if it will gain that much, honestly. I think there are a lot greater picks than this. Bulbasaur and Squirtle from Stellar Crown. I would buy some copies of this for sure. These are illustration rares that are already going for $70 to $80, I think, but I see great potential in this. I think that the trio is so good. This go with the Charmander from the promo card from the Obsidian Flames Elite Trainer box, and they look amazing, honestly. And they are, of course, the Gen 1 starters, so really popular Pokemon. And Charizard. By the way, guys, I'm giving away this new Discovery Booster Pack. If you want to enter the giveaway, just like, comment, and subscribe. It's completely free. I'll go straight to it, honestly. Charizard is the best chase card from Brilliant Stars. The Shield, the booster box is starting to grow up in price a lot. I see a lot of potential in this Charizard. You can still grab it fairly cheap for 100 and something, like 110, 120. Maybe in the US it's a bit more expensive, but I think that this card is a great pickup. I feel like it's one of the best Charizards we had. It's fighting against Venusaur, which it will really help it. And I think Brilliant Stars is definitely underrated still, so definitely have a look at that card. Sleepy Titar. This is a good one, honestly. Coming from Battle Styles, it's the chase card of the set. I would probably put it here because you see Battle Styles is still really cheap. It's still in the Pokemon Center of a lot of countries, but I think it will perform kind of decently. Of course, it's not the most popular set of Sword and Shield by any means, but this card, like Tyranitar, is kind of popular as a Pokemon. It's one of the Gen 2 fan favorites, and I think the art is amazing, so I think it has good potential still. When the booster box runs out the Pokemon Center, it gets more expensive. As always, like, I expect the chase cards to grow, so I think it's a good choice. Terrapagos, honestly, I wouldn't buy it. I cannot say it's overpriced because it's like $90 or something like that, but I don't really like the card. I like the art, but I don't understand the Pokemon. It's kind of strange. I don't know if people will, like, if this will grow into people. Like, I can say quite overpriced. I can say that you can collect it, like you can buy it if you collect, for sure. Because I wouldn't say that card is a straight garbage, like, it doesn't make much sense, so we can put it there. Urshifu from Battle Styles 2, honestly, I don't think this card will perform super well. It's kind of a popular Pokemon in the competitive aspect of the game, but this art is decent, but the other Urshifus are just ugly, honestly. Again, maybe like Titar, like when the booster box gets out of print and stuff, not out of print, it's out of print already, but out of stock in stores and stuff, it will probably go up, but I wouldn't invest my money into this card, honestly. Machamp B, Astral Radiance, really good card, honestly. This card was super underrated. It was like $90, I would say, when I started YouTube like 9, 10, 11 months ago, and I felt like it was always underrated a bit. Now it's growing a lot in price, but I think Astral Radiance has a lot of potential, and I still think this is a decent investing, honestly. To invest, it's pretty decent, and to collect, it's also beautiful, so hey, why not? Right, Glaceon B from Evolving Skies. Man, this is really hard. This is really hard. Honestly, like, Evolving Skies prices are like through the roof, but the booster box too, so it kind of makes sense that the cards increase in price a lot too. But I think this is too much, honestly. At least for the cards inside. Like, I guess like we got the Prismatic Evolutions and everyone is pending evolutions. They just love these cards. I understand. I completely understand that. But I don't know. I feel like they are a bit overpriced. I wouldn't say quite overpriced, like, because I still think there's room to growth. But yeah, like, I might buy one. I wouldn't invest hard into it though. Galarian Moltres. I think I'll put it here. This card is about what, 140, 150, something like that. Maybe a bit less. This card comes from Chilling Reign. The booster box is going super crazy in price because it's a great set. Chilling Reign is a great set full of $50, $60, $70 cards. And this is actually the secondary chase card, at least for me, after the Blaziken. I think it looks amazing. I'm not a really big fan of the rebirth, like remake of the legendary Bird Trio. But honestly, this card looks amazing. The art looks amazing. The colors are great. So I think it's a decent investment still. Aerodactyl V. I don't really like it, honestly. Like, I think the price right now is the price this card should be. So I understand it's super hard to pull because Lost Origin pull rates are a bit meh. But I think you open Lost Origin to get the Giratina, not the Aerodactyl. It's a good secondary chase card, but I think the price right now is pretty fair. It's about 120 or something like that. But yeah. SPMV, I'll put it the same here. These cards are starting to get a bit crazy in price. All the Evolving Skies chase cards are exploding like the booster box, so I would be really cautious, honestly. I would be really cautious, especially with the more expensive ones that we will rate later. Yeah, Lugia, honestly, I'll just straight away put it to S tier. I think it might be like the second or third best chase card for me, of course, of the Sword and Shield era, and it's the only one that hasn't exploded in price super crazily like Gengar or Giratina. So I think it has great potential. I understand we got that weird God packs of Silver Tempest, and this card is kind of more common than the Lost Origin Giratina that, by the way, we're ranking now. But I think there's great potential in that card. I would put Giratina here. This card is super expensive. It's going for $500, $600. Crazy price sales. But I think this card might be the next Sword and Shield era card to hit $1,000. It kind of makes sense. Lost Origin has been like exploding in popularity lately too. The booster box has gone up in price a lot, and I mean you like, again, you open Lost Origin to pull this card. Like, that's your objective. There's not like there's a Pikachu trainer gallery, but there's nothing crazy there. So definitely a good copy. I would be careful because this card is super expensive, but I would definitely, if I had like infinite money, let's say, I would buy some copies to invest in. Why not? Chankachu, honestly, guys, like, I feel bad for if you're a fan of this card, but I think it's garbage. Like, the rainbow cards look so bad. I'm not a big fan of the VMAX cards. I prefer the V cards, like regular Pokemon with beautiful arts. That's what I love. But this Pikachu is like so ugly, honestly. Like, I didn't used to collect and invest that hard when Vivid Voltage came around. I understand like the boom and stuff. Yeah, I understand that, but I don't know. Like the one from Surging Sparks looks so much better. I know it's like 3 times the price, but yeah, not a big fan, honestly. Umbreon V, again, I'll put it here. Be extremely cautious. It's like what, 220, 250, something like that. It's getting really expensive. There's room to grow, but there's definitely like room to withdraw in price too. So be careful with these cards, for real. Dragonite V. I love this card, don't get me wrong. I love this card, but I think it's correctly priced. Like, it was like $70, I think, for a long time, and it has just been growing crazy with the set. It should be now like 200 or something. Yeah, it's about 190 or something. I think it's correctly priced, so I'll just put it here. If you like it to collect, go for it. It's a great card. It looks beautiful, but I don't see like super much room for grow, honestly. Rayquaza V, same thing. I love Rayquaza. I'm a super fanboy, but I think these cards are just correctly priced right now. They're like the 140 for the Rayquaza. I think it's correctly priced. It's fair. Venusaur EX. This, I'll have to put it here. I think 151 is still underrated, which is maybe it's a hot thing to say, I don't know. But I think the Charizard has exploded in price, which I understand because it's, you know, it's Charizard, we all love it, blah, blah, blah. But I think Venusaur and Blastoise are still underrated. And if you can grab these cards for like under 120, I think they are really good boy. Like, the Charizard is going for crazy amounts of money, double or triple the price of the other two. And I understand that the Charizard will always be more expensive, but I don't know if the gap should be that big, honestly. I think when 151 product gets even more expensive, these cards will raise in price too. It's probably my least favorite of these three, so you could argue to put it here. Maybe I'll put it here, I don't know. But it's definitely really, really good card. Groudon is $100. Damn. So I pulled this Groudon a couple of times and it was a bit frustrating because the card was super uncentered. So I just sold the copy. I wanted the PSA 10, but there were no point in grading that. But they used to go for $40 here in Europe when I sold them. Again, Paradox Reef was super cheap then, but the fact that this card is $100, I think it's like, I'm kind of biased here because I really like Gen 3 and I love Groudon, but the art is not super crazy, but still $100 if the Magikarp is $220, $230, I think it's still undervalued, honestly. So I'll put it here. I think it will perform well. I think it will continue to rise, and of course Paradox Rift is now getting expensive, so that would definitely help. Charizard, extremely expensive, guys. I wouldn't invest in Charizard EX cards right now, honestly. But I understand it can go up, but I wouldn't spend like $3,000 in copies of Charizard EX. That wouldn't make much sense for me. Still, the room between the raw card and the PSA 10 is super good. So if you have a good copy, try to grade it because I think it's worth it. Okay, we got a lot to go, so I'll try to go faster. Blastoise, I would say same as Venusaur. Alakazam EX, definitely underrated card. We'll put it here for sure. It's still pretty cheap, so I would grab it now, honestly. I think it's undervalued yet. Still, like, again, 151 prices will keep going up. We all know that. The seal product I'm talking about. So this is probably one of the best cards inside, like apart from the trio and stuff. So definitely keep an eye on this. Blaziken VMAX. I love Blaziken. It's my favorite starter of all time, but I think it's correctly priced. The booster box is really expensive, the Chilling Reign booster box, but this card is super expensive too. It's about like $300, pretty close to $300. I understand the booster box is expensive, but I think the booster box is expensive because it has two good chase cards, and apart it has a lot of depth, like $50, $60, $70 cards. So I think it's correctly priced. I should leave it there. Zapdos for me is still underrated, same as Alakazam. Pretty cheap. 151 will keep going up. Definitely keep an eye. For me, Leafeon VMAX is the same as the other evolutions. The prices are getting a bit crazy. I know the arts are good, but I don't know if that good. I guess they will just follow the booster box, but I wouldn't invest heavily into this. Calyrex, I don't know, weird thing. I wouldn't say it's garbage. The Japanese version of this card, I think, is going for super expensive, like super high prices. You can tell me that in the comments. I'm not sure, but I think that's what I saw. But if you collect this, fine. I don't think it's garbage. Like, it looks okay. The Pokemon is super random, but I think it's correctly priced. It's like $70, something like that. Glaceon VMAX, same as the other evolutions. I wouldn't get crazy. They are super pricey. Same with Sylveon VMAX. I think it's okay. You can buy like one copy of each. Sure, let's see what happens. But there's a lot of room for it to decrease in price too. So I would be extremely careful. Okay, Umbreon VMAX is a tough one. It's like what, 1.7k or something crazy like that. The PSA 10 has gone crazy too. I think I'll put it on the same tier. I understand that the whole community is shifting to Umbreon instead of Charizard as a fan favorite, which I can understand. Like, why not? Umbreon is a really nice Pokemon, but I think with these prices you have to be extremely cautious, because man, a 20% decrease in this card means you're losing $300. That's something crazy. I don't think it has like reached its limits. Like, I don't think in 10 years the VMAX Umbreon will be the same price as now. I think it will be more expensive, but I would be extremely cautious. Same with the Rayquaza. Fanboy. I'm a fanboy. I love Rayquaza, but I would be cautious. I don't know if I would put it here because I think it's kind of correctly priced. If the Umbreon is $1,600 to $1,700, I think it justifies the Rayquaza being $600. But I think it has more room to grow than this card, so I'll put it like low end there. This is a random pick I did. It's a shiny golden Snorlax from Chilling Reign. I don't think it's garbage. I think it's a cool idea for a gold card. Like, all gold cards are trash, so it's cool that we have a shiny Snorlax, but this is like, honestly, this is right on correctly overpriced. I mean, correctly priced. Starmie V. This card has gone crazy in price, man. This is what, $100? Okay, so this is $76. I got really impressed when checking the prices of these cards. I used to track a lot the prices of sealed product, but I don't track that much single cards. But this card, you could get it all day for $25 to $30, and the fact that it was now $76 or $80 was like, wow, that's really impressive, honestly. I think it's a good card, but I think it's correctly priced. I don't know why this card would go for $200 or something like that. So I just say it's okay right there. This Gardevoir is less than 75, but as I said at the beginning of the video, we would keep an eye in underrated cards. It's only $50 or $60, something like that. Like, it's kind of cheap, and we have to give a bit of love to Scarlet and Violet base, because the idea of having this like evolution line following a story and with beautiful arts, I think it's pretty cool. Of course, we didn't add this whole evolution line here because it makes no sense. They are not all chase cards, but I think Gardevoir has some potential. I'll put probably like, you know, middle of buy some copies. I would buy some copies of this Gardevoir. I think it will go up. Celebi, straight away. It's not 75, but I've been talking about this card since it was like less than 30, and I'm so happy for all of you who bought this card, because I just think it's so underrated. Like, the pull rates of Fusion Strike are so bad. And this is a beautiful card, beautiful Pokemon. I love Celebi. Like, I don't understand, but now it's like $60, $65, $70. I respect that. I think it was in one of my videos under 30, if I'm not wrong. But I'm so happy, but I still think there's room to grow for this card. I would completely understand this card going for $100, $150. Like, I could definitely see that. So I stay with my, like, I'll stay with my word. It's a great pick. Mew V. Fusion Strike cards have exploded in price too, because the booster box is going crazy. Sells from 500. So yeah, sells of the booster box for 500, which is absolutely insane. I like the V card more than the VMAX. As I said before, I don't really enjoy VMAX Pokemon, but this card is going for 75, so I think it has some room to grow. I wouldn't put it like in the same tier as Alakazam and Zapdos EX and these cards, honestly, but I mean, it's probably high of this tier, low of this tier. I don't know. It should be like around that. But I really like this card. $75 is an okay entry price for this, I think, for the price of the booster box. This Mew is $200. I don't know. Like, it's so much worse than the Celebi, for example. But I don't really like the art. Honestly, it's kind of messy. Like, everything is around. I don't know. I don't like it. But I understand it's Mew, and people love Mew, so that's the reason it's $200. I think it's correctly priced. Let's move on. Espeon VMAX, it's about 280. Yeah, I'll probably put it with the evolutions. It kind of makes sense, no? Like, 280 is a good price though. I think I'll put it with the other evolutions. I think this Espeon has more potential than the other evolutions that come from Evolving Skies. The simple reason is that the booster box of Evolving Skies is too pricey right now. So it just drives the price of the cards inside crazy. Gengar is like $700 or something like that. Oh my god. I love Gengar and I love this card, but I have to say, for me, it's correctly priced at $700 is insane. It's insane. And I think the Giratina is kind of a better chase card. I don't know, Gengar is kind of a more popular Pokemon than Giratina too. Maybe we put like low in here. I don't know. I think $700 is okay for this card. I think when, like, if we talk about like a Fusion Strike booster box being worth 1,000, I understand this card being worth 1,000 for sure. But it's $500 right now for $700 chase card. I think it's correctly priced, honestly. When the prices go like higher, we can say like, we can probably think about this going higher in price, but yeah, I think it's correctly priced. This Charizard, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what happened with Charizard VMAX from Champion's Path and Shining Fates. Like, they look the same. They're garbage, honestly. This, I don't know. I don't like these Charizards. I think they could do a better job like this. Champion's Path Charizard V. It's a great card. I'll put it here because I think Champion's Path will keep getting open just for the chase streams. Like, you know, people just love Charizard. And I think the shiny V one, like the regular V, it looks better. You can see the full black color on it. So, yeah, I think it's good. So, Persian. This card has been going crazy lately. I think Shrouded Fable is kind of not the greatest set, we can all agree with that. But now the product is getting eaten anyways because the popularity of the Pokemon TCG right now is so high that I don't know. But this card already exploded. It's in one of my, again, like under $30 cards. I think it's now worth what, 70 or something like that. It's okay, like it's an okay card. It looks really good, but I don't think it will go crazy. I'll put it here. Like, when I say only buy if you collect, like, what I mean by these cards is that they are correctly priced. Like, they are not overpriced, but they are correctly priced, and that's it. But again, if you collect, by all means, just buy this Persian for sure. Lithium V-Star from Crown Zenith. These cards are super cheap. These cards from Crown Zenith are super cheap, and I'm really thinking they should go here still. So you see all these evolutions going for 50, 40, like they're pretty cheap compared to the VMAX and the Altards from Evolving Skies. I understand they are so much easier to pull too, but the arts look better. Crown Zenith is starting to explode in price, like it has already exploded, but it will keep going up. And I think there's great potential in these cards, honestly. Honestly, same. It looks like I'm repeating myself too much, honestly. So I'll just put all the Crown Zenith, like these lower range $40 to $50 to $60 cards here because I think they have great potential. I added them all because they all look good, but maybe I understand the rule like 75 or more, but I think these cards are amazing, honestly. Amazing investments. Now I want to talk about these like separately a bit because these are, by the way, these 5 next comes from Crown Zenith too, but they are different. For me, the Mewtwo V-Star is absolutely god tier in terms of investing. It's about 150, no, not 150, it's about 120, I think, 130, something like that. But in these ranges, a Mewtwo fighting a Charizard, that's insane. That's insane, and the art looks amazing too. So I think this card should be S tier, like in terms of investing and in terms of collecting too. Like if you're trying to collect cards, this card looks amazing in person, just check it out. Okay, so the golden cards. So Giratina is like 200. I think there's still some room to grow. And these are like, Arceus is like what, 100, 110, 120, something like that. And the other two are like, I'd say they are $80 to $90, something, yeah. Probably close to that. My opinion is that this Arceus card is one of the best arts we had from Arceus, so I'll definitely put it here. You could arguably say that these two cards could go a step above, because I would highly prefer to invest in these cards than the evolutions, for example. So I guess we put that there, and the other two I'll just put it here. They are okay cards, but they are not like super grails. The origin forms, I'm not a big fan of the origin forms of the Algan Palkia. I prefer the regular versions, but it is what it is. It's from Legend Arceus, I guess. Okay, this Charizard, this is from what? Champion's Path or Shining Fates? I don't know, because they look the same. it's quite controversial, but I don't like look at these cards. They're just the same card. They just copied the same card and made it like rainbow and shiny. Like, come on, man. Like, this is super low effort. I really don't like these cards. I understand some Charizard fans will get mad or will try to invest in some Charizards, but look at the Charizards you have here. This is so much better. This is so much better. Like, you have a lot of great options, honestly. Where's the 151? This is so much better. Like, it's not that I dislike Charizard, it's that I dislike these cards. These are garbage, honestly. Magikarp is 220. I'll put it here. I expect this card to continue to go up. The PSA 10 prices are crazy. The ratio, as some of you may know, the ratio of going raw to PSA 10 is so bad. Like, the conversion rate is super bad for this card to come back as a 10. But Paldea Evolved is performing really well. I think it's starting to be like well accepted by fans, and if the price of the booster box is $200, I don't see why this card could keep going up. I know it has like gone a bit lower lately, the price of the booster box, but I think that is a great investment. Yeah, this is my collection of garbage Charizards. The PSA 10 price for this card is going crazy, and the raw card is pushing like what, 70, 80, 100. It has gone a lot up. I recognized my mistake when I talked about the Obsidian Flames booster boxes. I didn't even expect them to perform like half as good as they are doing. They're about 170 to 180 now. I don't understand why, honestly, but I guess like people like Charizards and like to open Charizards. Well, this is the Charizard you get for opening that set. Garbage set, garbage chase card. Nothing much to say. Mew. We haven't used the quite overpriced tier because I think like even given the increase of price, these cards are correctly priced. I think the Mew is correctly priced. It's going for 350 or something crazy like that. But the reason I'm not putting cards in the garbage, I mean in the quite overpriced section, is because I compare these prices with sealed product, and I don't think sealed product is overpriced. You could argue that the later sets like Prismatic Evolutions and Journey Together are overpriced, and I would completely agree. But I think that the vast majority of Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet booster boxes are not overpriced, and that's the reason we're not quite using this list yet. Maybe I will use it later. I don't know. This is a beautiful Gardevoir from Paldea and Fates, same as Mew. I can see growth here, honestly. I can see growth here. I like this card. I love this card. I think it looks a bit better than this one, but of course it's a lot more expensive. Yeah, we're talking about like almost double the price, 95 approx. It's still a good price, honestly. And Paldea and Fates, the ETB is almost $100 now, so I would see room to grow for sure. Same with the Charizard. It's quite expensive, so it's $200, but it doesn't look great, honestly. I'm trying to think if I would invest in that card, and I would probably not, because so just people shift their opinions to go for the Bubble Mew, which I understand. It looks, for me, it looks much better than the Charizard. This Charizard looks kind of alike to this, but it looks a bit better with the red crystals and stuff. But I don't think it's great, honestly. I think that's the correct tier. Just 200, I understand, but then like it's like a secondary chase card. People are going for the Mew now. That's the reason Paldea and Fates is increasing so much in price. I added this just to represent a bit of temporal forces, because this card is pushing $100. I think this is maybe I put the first one in overpriced. Like, I don't think this card should be that expensive, honestly. I don't I understand like it's for the competitive, maybe, but I added this card because for me it looks so much better. The Walking, I think it's Walking Wake and Raging Bolt. I think Walking Wake looks way better than Raging Bolt, so I just added the two of them to show you like that. For me, one is a bit overpriced at 100 and the other one is like $40, so you have this gap between them, and one of them looks pretty much like better. Again, Suicune is a more popular Pokemon than Raikou, but these are just the remakes of the Pokemon, so it doesn't make much sense that. Greninja, I think I'll put it here. It's I wouldn't say it's like super S tier because it's quite expensive right now. It's like 300 and something, 350 maybe. But Twilight Masquerade pull rates are garbage. That's the first thing. And this is the strongest chase card. Like, this will, like, from the whole Scarlet and Violet era, this will be one of the best chase cards inside. And I think it's kind of good to invest in still. Twilight Masquerade went up to 200. Now it's going down to 160, something like that. In Europe, you can still grab it pretty cheap, but I understand the chase. It's a really fun favorite Pokemon, so I could see this card in the future growing a lot in price. Okay, we'll speed through some evolutions of Prismatic Evolutions, because I've made this tier just for Prismatic Evolutions, honestly. By the way, this, look, I'll use the tier. Okay, I'll use the tier just for you. But this is overpriced. Like, this Cerulege is $100 and something. Like, it's a beautiful card, but I don't think it should go for that. I'll just put this on the tier. By the way, I love the art. I just think the price is just exaggerated a lot. For all the evolutions, I would say wait for the reprint. Honestly, the prices are going crazy now. These are 300, 200 and something. Like, the prices are too high, honestly. If we have this confirmed reprint by the Pokemon Company itself and blah, 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 hopefully they reprint the hell out of booster bundles or whatever it is that they want to print, and packs get more accessible, and these cards get more accessible too. I'm not saying this just as an investing perspective. If you want to collect these cards, I would personally wait for the reprint. I know you can love like Espeon and stuff, but it doesn't make much sense to spend like $300 for a card that just released right now. That's my opinion. Do whatever you want with your money, but I wouldn't collect or invest in them right now. And the Umbreon, I want to put it in overpriced, honestly. But I understand the hype, and the pull rates are so bad too. So I don't know, man. Like, I'll put it with the other one because it's quite overpriced for a set that just released. Like, it's almost the same price as, maybe it's even more expensive than the other one. But to be like $1,500 just on the release of a set, I don't know, that looks scary to me. I've never seen that in my entire life. It didn't even happen with Evolving Skies, which is a better set than Prismatic Evolutions, at least in my opinion. So I would be extremely cautious with these cards. Super expensive. As I said with the other Umbreon, when you buy a product and you tank like $300, $400 for like these 20-25% swings, because Pokemon cards are not like stocks. Like, it's quite normal that a Pokemon card just drops 20% in a week and the other week just gets up 40%. It's quite normal, so I would be really careful while investing. And if you're collecting, like, sure, go for it. Like, you see the price. The reason this is not here with the other evolutions is because I'm pretty scared that this card will not go down with the reprint. I don't know what will happen, but since the pull rates are so bad and the demand is so high, I don't think if the reprint will affect this specific card price. I'm curious to see. Let's witness history, but I wouldn't see this card tanking that much. I would still be extremely cautious with the price right now. I just added these Latios from Surging Sparks. Okay, so Surging Sparks cards got stacked here. This Latios is here because I think it's a bit underpriced yet. It's like 50. You can get it for $50 in Europe. You can get it for a lot cheaper. And I think it's a great card, honestly. Surging Sparks is going crazy. The Seal product will continue to go crazy because the set is so good. But I've said this so many times in my videos that there's no point on doing that again. But since the set is so good, I think it will perform well. I don't think it's like S tier like these ones, but definitely good. My Milotic is what, 150, something like that. I'll put it in the same tier. I think there's some room to grow. The Pikachu, I think it's correctly priced, honestly. If you want to collect it, sure. If you expect this card to be $1,000, I don't know. Because this card it's been $500 since release. And it's going pretty steady. It hasn't gone up or down a lot. I'm trying to think, like, if I see this card just for being Pikachu $1,000, and man, I think that's too much. I think that's too much. I think it's correctly priced. I don't know, maybe it goes up when the booster box increases in price, but I don't know. Latias is 250, 200 and something. It's probably correctly priced, but I think there's more room to grow in Latias than in Pikachu. Maybe the Milotic should be with the Latias, but The Milotic is like half the price of Latias, so I think it has more potential, honestly. I know Latias is more popular Pokemon, but sure. By the way, pull rates of Surging Sparks are garbage too, are pretty bad. So these cards will get extremely scarce if people starts to collect them, so yeah, be aware of that. This Hydreigon, I don't know, it's expensive, but I mean, it's a cool card, but it's like 80, 90, something like that. But I don't think like this has a lot of room to grow. Maybe when the sealed product gets expensive, but I don't see this card being like $300 or something like that, honestly. And these two cards are the most random cards I find, but these are $75. I don't know what happened with Brilliant Stars for these to be $80, $75, but I will say straight away that these two are overpriced. I don't know. It's like I understand Umbreon and Rayquaza are quite popular cards, but for these art, like these two specific cards, like trainers, like I understand it's cool. You have the Pokemon and the trainer in the card inside, and Journey Together will be so good. Like I've seen the leaks and stuff, and it looks good. But these cards are just not that good, honestly. Like this B-Max flying thing, I don't know. I really don't like that. I think these two are overpriced, honestly. I was shocked by seeing they are $80. But I guess, yeah, popular Pokemon, and I'm the first who loves Rayquaza, but not this one, honestly, not this one. So this is my final list. I will leave a link in the description if you want to try this out yourself, or if you want to comment down below what cards are you buying, collecting, or investing in. I would really appreciate it. I read all of you. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.